So Trump's sentencing hearing is coming up. Trump's sentencing hearing is coming up. So first I'm going to talk about the facts, and then I'm going to give a little commentary. So Trump's sentencing is coming up. This is with the hush money case, the 34 felonies out of New York. So he's a criminal, right? If you've been accused, if you've been arrested, you're going to court, you know this motherfucker is guilty. You know the motherfuckers. Why would you be in a courthouse? That's what that one bastard said. Why would you be at the courthouse if you weren't fucking guilty? You're guilty, guilty, guilty. A jury has said that he's guilty, and now there's a sentencing hearing. But we know how the system works. The system protects the rich and the powerful, and that's it. They only protect the rich and the powerful, and then you got the rich and powerful plexiglass white-collar mafia. First, I said I was going to talk about the facts. So here's the facts. The court's decision about the conviction is going to be rendered on September 6th. So the court is going to decide whether or not he actually gets jail time. He could get 4 years jail time per charge. 34 felonies times 4, he could go to jail for 120 years. Now, they had already written, their side wrote what they think about the sentencing. The other side wrote what they think about the sentencing. Trump's lawyers tried to say, well, you got that immunity thing. And that immunity from criminal prosecution, the way the Supreme Court wrote it up was that he's immune from official acts. So during the presidency, he could say, well, I was the president and the Congress did this. I had to, he can't be charged with killing Soleimani, right? He bombed that, he's the commander-in-chief. He gave the order to bomb Soleimani. And since that's an official act, he's immune from that. He has executive privilege. Whatever executive thing where the president, if the president does it, it's not wrong. The thing that Nixon had said at the Frost-Nixon debate. So the new sentencing date is September 18th. So the court is actually going to say a decision about what about the conviction will be rendered on September 6th. So they're going to say what they think the punishment is going to be. So there's not going to be any surprises. Donald Trump is going to show up for sentencing on September 18th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And this is after he's already been picked as the Republican nominee. He doesn't have immunity because he did the Stormy Daniels thing when he was a candidate. So he wasn't president at the time. He was running for office. He gave her $130,000. That one guy already went to jail. He got 34 felony counts. So he's guilty, guilty, guilty. He's going to go to jail. 34 fucking felonies and the motherfucker's just running around here? Why would we let a motherfucker just run around here when he's got 34 fucking felonies hanging over his head? That's insane. He's guilty, guilty, guilty. And yet half the fucking country is acting like they're going to fucking vote for this motherfucker who loves the cops, believes in the thin blue line, thinks that the police can do no wrong. The police can do no wrong, and yet this motherfucker is looking at 34 fucking felonies. Well, it looks like your philosophy is about to fuck you the fuck over. But he's wealthy. He can afford the damn lawyer. So a letter from the lawyers with the Manhattan DA's office to Judge Juan Merchant Tuesday said that although prosecutors believe Trump's argument is without merit, they didn't object to his legal team's motion. So they went ahead and made the motion. Sir, you want to try to say that you're immune from it? Trump's lawyer had requested a deadline July 10th to file documents. Prosecutors required July 24th. So they've already filed whatever things that they're going to file. It's August 17th. Right now I'm going to post this. I was thinking 3 days prior to, I was going to say the 18th, but they're going to make a decision on the 6th. So maybe I should post it, on September 3rd or some shit. Trump's lawyers claim they didn't object to the July 11th sentencing date. Their request to file a motion necessary, request adjourn the sentencing hearing. They tried to get out of the sentencing hearing, but it's got no basis. Overturning Trump's conviction in the Manhattan case could be a long shot because it concerns his actions as a candidate rather than the president. Of course, of course. Now the context. The Supreme Court ruled that the former president had immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts that were conducted while he was in the White House. He was just a candidate. In May, Trump was tried and convicted of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in relation to the hush money payments. So he did it again and again and again. Did you pay Stormy Daniels? Nope. Nope. All right, sign this. All right, I'll sign this government document. Here you go. Here, sign this other government document. All right, I'll sign that government document as well. He did it 34 fucking times. Do I give a shit if he had sex with a fucking porn star? I don't give a shit. Melania seems like a shitty, crappy person. She married him, and yet she's just absolutely miserable being with him. Divorce him, Melania. Why are you standing by your man when you're clearly not happy? It's like she's trying to save face or something, because Melania just has so much political capital. She don't want to spend all of her political capital. The only political capital she's got is because she was married to the president. At the time Trump was first running for president, threatening to go public with allegations of an extramarital affair, 12-person Manhattan jury reached a unanimous decision. So he got his right to a jury trial. He had a lawyer. He was able to pay for the lawyer, and the judge and the lawyer gives a good shot. But, you know, you're guilty, you're guilty. The fucking jury looked at the damn facts and the evidence. They looked at the charge, and they said, yep, he falsified business records. Yep, it's the felony. It's New York, so the laws of New York. He broke the laws of New York. He broke the laws of New York, and we, the jury, find him guilty of 34 felonies. Following the verdict, now a jury could have, you know, done their own thing if juries understand their power, which a lot of juries don't. So maybe the judge instructed the jury to do one thing. Maybe there wasn't a fair thing. Maybe they didn't introduce evidence. Maybe they didn't introduce witnesses. There could be a lot of problems with this case. And they vowed to appeal. And the appeal process could take years. When I go to the courthouse, I see so many poor people. So many poor people, and a lot of them will just say guilty to the thing because they know that they're fucking guilty. So at the end of the day, a jury trial, they just see, you know, the writings on the wall, and they ask the judge for mercy. When really, you could be rich as fuck, commit whatever crimes you want with impunity. You can abuse, torture, assault, steal, rape, murder, maim, burn down houses, do some arsons, bear false witness, perjury, adultery, business records. That's nothing. All you have to do is pay for a lawyer. If you can afford the $25,000 retainer, any fucking piece of shit lawyer will go ahead and take your case. Just give me the money. You got the money? Yeah, I got the money. All right, I'll take your case. He's got blood all over his hands. He's clearly guilty. He killed those Palestinian children. He bombed those. He did that intentionally. That he's guilty of war crimes. He's guilty of crimes against humanity. He's got a lawyer. He's rich. He's powerful. Like Alec Baldwin. There's a point to all these damn rules. Like, there's a point to all of them. And we're not actually doing the rules of procedure, the rules of evidence. The point of the rules of evidence, well, Alec Baldwin's team, they said, wait a second. They don't have the bullet that he shot. You're supposed to have the bullet. Okay, they didn't have the fucking bullet. Does that mean Alec Baldwin didn't shoot him? No, Alec Baldwin, we know the fucking story. Alec Baldwin shot his cinematographer right in the face. His story was that the person handling the gun gave him a loaded gun. I want to say that person that handed him the loaded gun got in trouble. So the person that handed him the loaded gun got in trouble. He pointed it right in their face. Shit, is in there due deference? Shouldn't you have checked the chamber just to make sure? You know that they're real guns, right? And they're just filled with blanks. So real guns, and instead of filling with the blanks, somebody actually put a fucking bullet in. I once heard, and this is just a thought that was floated, that Alec Baldwin had actually done the fucking deed to see if he could get away with that shit. And he did get away with it. Why? Because where's your bullet? What, I gotta pick the bullet up out of the fucking woman's head? It's got brains and blood and shit all over it. If you don't have the bullet, you can't prove that it was him and his gun, and therefore he gets to walk free. Well, that's not what you said about Leonard Peltier. You didn't find any of the fucking bullets. Just the 2 bullets you planted. And so because they didn't have the damn bullet, they threw the whole fucking case out? The whole point of the rules of evidence is to make sure that the evidence that is admitted or not admitted is fair. To make sure that we get to the truth of the thing. Okay, they didn't have the bullet, but guess what? He still fucking shot him. You still had 20 fucking witnesses. It's on video camera, right? So you see the guy actually taking the gun and pointing it at the damn camera, and it's probably real dramatic. And then the camera captures it. So it's probably on film, right? Up until the point the bullet goes through, hits the glass, It's probably some of the most dramatic footage ever. Because at the end of that shot, you know that a person dies. So you got 20 fucking eyewitnesses. You got it on camera. But because the prosecution lost the bullet, dropped the bullet, found a different bullet, did something with the fucking bullet, we're going to dismiss Alec Baldwin's fucking case? After the verdict, Donald Trump completed a routine pre-sentencing interview with the New York City Department of Probation conducted virtually. The prosecutors for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and Trump's legal teams each submitted sentencing recommendations last month. Those documents have not been released to the public, though he is not expected to face jail time. Trump also turned his attention to mobilizing donations for his campaign and mounting legal fees by using the convictions as a fundraising tool. Within 24 hours of the guilty verdict, Trump's campaign boasted raising millions of dollars. Kamala convicted a guy for murder. He was innocent. He's going to get $12 million from the city of San Francisco. But he was charged. The cop said he killed him. And so the damn judge and the prosecutors, they all pushed the liar's lie down the people's throat. What the fuck does the system gain by shoving a liar's lie down the people's throat? Now, eventually that guy's going to get a good lawyer. Maybe the good lawyer got him. Who the fuck knows? Because there's a lot of shitty lawyers out there. There's a lot of shitty lawyers. You'll pay them a bunch of fucking money. They'll pocket that money, and then they'll blow your fucking case. You got public pretenders. People that don't even give a shit about what the fuck happens to you. Just say you're fucking guilty. Who cares? I try to get plea bargain. They're not working with me, so just say you're guilty. Let's not go through the rigmarole of a damn jury trial. We don't want to go through all that. Now, do we? So he's going to get millions of fucking dollars for 34 fucking felonies. Why? Because it looks like he's going to fucking lose. I mean, he's the thin blue line guy and he's the felon. And meanwhile, the defund the police person is the DA, the cop. So the cop is defund the police, and then the people who love the cop is the felon. What the fuck is going on? Trump and his legal team have also vowed to appeal the conviction, a process that could take years. Are we going to reform the fucking criminal justice system? Are we going to reform the police? Are we going to reform the prosecution and the judges? Do any of these motherfuckers give a shit if, fucking justice ain't served? Christopher Mondragon, killed Kenny John, stole his truck, stole all of his shit. He's running around fucking free as a bird. Do any of the lawyers like, damn, if I come across Chris Mondragon, are they researching him? Are they looking to find out? No, they're not doing any of that shit. They're telling this fucking guy who got arrested for jaywalking that he's going to have to plead guilty. You got to pay me $5,000 and then, hey, go ahead and plead guilty because I really don't want to fucking go to court and actually try your case. I just want to keep kissing this judge's ass and hope that the judge likes me because I kiss his ass so much. The judge don't respect you because you kiss his ass. You can stand up. Get it some backbone. He would respect you more. So they're going to appeal the conviction, right? So why does he even have to go up for the sentencing? How many times do people get arrested, get thrown before the judge, and they say guilty? Even if they say not guilty, they'll make up some shit. People are either ignorant of the law or they're poor and they can't afford the thing. And so they'll just make up a bunch of shit, railroad the person, and end up fucking the person over. But if you're rich and powerful, you can just keep throwing one lawyer, another motion, another legal tactic, and another legal... He's talking about going to fucking Venezuela with Elon Musk. Technically, a sentence is a state-sanctioned response to a criminal conviction. Ideally, it should take the moment of conviction of proven harm. Proven is in quotes, because 96% of felony convictions follow a guilty plea. So that means 96% of felony convictions, they got the guy or the woman to say that they're guilty. That's what happened with Michael Cohen. He didn't go to a jury trial. He said he was guilty. In exchange for being a state's witness, he did 1 year in fucking jail and lay a course forward that both delivers accountability for the harm done and makes it less likely that the defendant will do it again. And then they used him like a tool. They used him like a weapon to go after the kingfish, which I guess that's smart, right? But these goddamn nerdy-ass judges and prosecutors and these lawyers, they are dependent upon the police, so you got to have some strong-ass bouncer that kidnaps somebody. They're not going to arrest them themselves. Them weak-ass nerds? No, so they have to have some corrupt fucking piece of shit goddamn cop who has tattoos and a fucking criminal record longer than the person that he's trying to arrest. Since they're dependent upon the police branch, they act like the police can do no wrong when that's all they fucking do is wrong. Cops will fuck up a wet dream. Cops will fuck up every situation. The felony, Uvalde, there's a fucking active shooter. Oh shit, they're a bunch of cowards hiding underneath the fucking... But a jaywalker, well now you got 20 motherfuckers on it. It's just shooting all over the place. Trump has a history of non-compliance with previous court orders. So we're expecting him to go to court and listening to the sentence. If they decide that he goes to jail on the 6th or the 8th or whatever, when he's supposed to show up, September 6th is when the court is going to say what they think the sentencing is going to be. So he gets to know what the sentencing is. There's some judges, this corrupt judge in the SLV, he'll sit there and be like, who knows what sentence I'm going to give? Who knows? And then do the maximum. Maybe shave off a year. So the maximum in this is 34 felonies times 4 years. That's 120 fucking years. But I'll give you 115 years because of, good time and behavior. You're being real respectful to me. September 28th, or September 18th. So September 6th is when the court is supposed to say what they believe. And then September 18th, let's say they say, you get to do 1 year of jail time. Does he show up on September 18th? Does he say, I'm sorry, Judge, I should have done the thing. And then he did do this fucking pre-sentencing interview, but he did it virtually. So he didn't have to go to the person or talk to the person or call the person. He could just sit in the comforts of Margot, wherever he is, and just talk to somebody online. Do this, what I'm doing here. Just do that only for them. And then lay a course for that delivers accountability for the harm done, makes it less likely that the defendant will do it again. The judge could sentence Trump to prison for up to 4 years, but he doesn't have to. Other options, 4 years per felony charge. Other options include community-based sentences during which Trump would be at liberty. He was supposed to get, the sentencing was supposed to be last month. They've already backed it up another month. Community-based sentences with Trump could be at liberty to do. So he could get probation, right? He could do some kind of community service. I heard a DA actually just smacked the defendant on the head and said, sin no more. That would be fucking sweet as shit. The judge just smacked the defendant on the head and says, you stop your sinning. That one guy went to Singapore and he was getting caned. So they took a rod and they hit him 10 times for doing crime. He vandalized, fucking spray painted, did some damage or something, damaged cars or was breaking, did something. But we're not going to do corporal punishment for grown-ass adults. Motherfuckers will defend fucking corporal punishment for innocent kids. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Well, what about spare the rod, spoil the adults? He's got a history of non-compliance with previous orders. It's incredible that he was able to walk out of the fucking courtroom. Lay a course forward that both delivers accountability for the harm done. So you want justice, right? So what's justice? He breaks the fucking felony thing. It could be 120 years. It depends on your theory of justice. But if justice is eye for an eye, who did he hurt? He really didn't hurt anybody. Maybe the public's trust. Well, he hurt my trust. I trusted you, Donald, and you lied. And you lied again on a government document. I never lied, but you lied. A conditional discharge during which you're on probation. So we're going to send you to 1 year in jail, but we're going to go ahead and waive it for a year in probation. If you fuck up again, then you come back here for another business. You lied on some other business forms. If you keep paying a porn star illegally while you're a candidate, you're going to come back in here and you're actually going to have to do your damn jail time. That's presuming that he does it in the same state, in the same exact way, and it goes to the exact same judge. If they remember it, they type the fucking probation down, and that's for 1 year. So if he does it in 1 year and then 1 week later, then it's the same shit. He just keeps on getting probation. conditional discharge if he does public service, or if he has reparation or restitution, if he pays some money. If you just give the court $1 million, we'll let you walk. If you go around, it would be awesome to see Donald Trump go on the side of the road and pick up trash. If he's given life, he is a right-wing fascist fuck and says that the system and the judges and the fucking cops can do no wrong. So when they say you get life, well, he has to say, well, shit, the judges can do no wrong. He's not going to have a come to God moment, a come to Jesus Christ moment where he says, well, shit, maybe this damn criminal justice system is fucked. I have money, so I pay for the lawyer. I've been getting away with this dumb shit for, goddamn years. Meanwhile, poor people and ignorant people and the illiterate and people who gets lied to and railroaded, and they've been getting fucked for years. That doesn't sound right to me. We're not getting justice. Meanwhile, Christopher Mondragon murdered a fucking guy, stole his truck, stole his four-wheeler, stole the trailer. He's just running around somewhere in the United States somewhere. Maybe he's in Maine. Maybe he's in Oregon. Maybe he's in Hawaii. Maybe he's not even in America anymore. But he gets his rights and his freedoms because he said, fuck you, cops. Fuck you, copper and prosecutor. Fuck you, DA man. Fuck you, judge. The judge's task is to choose from these various sentencing options, or maybe you have a combination of them to craft a sentence that will do the best to demonstrate accountability and reduce the likelihood that Donald will reoffend. Now, everybody deserves the same chance. There is a thing called mandatory minimums. You did the crime, you got to do the time. No, you did the time. You did the crime, you got to do the time. You got to stay in jail. You get 4 years maximum. You stay in jail for 4 years. No, like the corrupt judge in the San Luis Valley. I thought about it. Yeah, I want to give you the maximum. Yeah, no, the police work for me, the judicial branch, not the executive branch or the legislative branch. They work for the judicial branch, and I want to fuck you over for 4 years. I want the taxpayers to pay for your meals, to pay for your electricity, to pay for your TV. Other potential sentences could be probation, a fine, or a conditional discharge, stay out of trouble. He's the first ex-president convicted of a crime. Trump will be required to be present in Merchand's Manhattan courtroom when he is sentenced. So he's going to be required to be there on the 18th of September. So the 6th of September, the judge is going to say what they think is going to happen. Then the 18th, let's just make sure we got the numbers right. September 6th is when the court is going to say what the sentence is going to be. And then September 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. September 18th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's got to be in the courtroom when they tell him that he's got to serve 4 years in jail. Now, you might say, well, he's the president. Well, you threw Eugene Debs in jail for speaking. He's not the first ex-presidential candidate to go to jail. Eugene Debs went to jail because he said that World War I was bullshit. And it was bullshit. How many poor people will fucking fall and die? The oppressor class always sends the poor people to go off and die. So Eugene Debs said that and then got thrown in jail and then ran for president and got 1 million votes while he was sitting in jail. Had he won, do we pull him out of jail, or do we just, the new Oval Office, the new White House is now going to be the fucking penitentiary of South Dakota, South Carolina, Iowa, New Mexico? So now a little commentary. You have the book, Ralph Nader just wrote the book, Let's Start the Revolution, and he dedicates it to all the voters who want to work on to elaborate the preamble. We the people, in order to perfect our union. What are we supposed to do? What's the point of the American government? Well, we got 5 end objects. The whole point of the U.S. government is to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of America, of the United States of America. Those are the 5 reasons we got government. That's the 5 reasons. To establish justice, I'll make it easier for you. I think that the 10 Commandments is it's wonderful. The Golden Rule, the 10 Commandments, that's a good set of rules for civilization. No adultery. Well, you want to honor thy father and thy mother. Get a divorce. You have divorce law, so you don't have to cheat on your wife or husband. But if you want to honor family, that means honor both mother and father, son and daughter, and brother and sister. Honor your family. But the Golden Rule, love thy neighbors as thyself. So do good to others. But if you want to know the code, well, don't abuse, don't torture, don't assault, don't steal, don't rape, don't murder, don't maim, don't arson. Let's say the big things, right? So if the federal government wants to throw the book at somebody who does arson and rape and murder and maiming and stealing, they say violent crime, actual violent crime. Firing a couple warning shots like it's 4th of July. Firing a couple warning shots like it's New Year's Day, firing a couple warning shots at somebody that threatened to murder you, well, that's not violent at all. Actual abuse, actual torture, actual assault, stealing, rape, and murder, maiming, and arson. And you can't bear false witness. You can't say that somebody did those things to you, or you'll get the punishment of that rapist. You said he raped you, we'll take you serious, but if it comes out that you're a liar, well, then you're going to have to go to jail and serve the sentence of that rapist. That's only fair. You lied. You put his fucking life in jeopardy and his freedom. In America, we have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? It's a free country. So the corrupt judge in the SLV, he had said something about, oh, you can't say that to me. Because I had said, hey, you read a sentence wrong. I'm supposed to, you didn't give me a grand jury hearing. So that means you got to give me a preliminary hearing. And he was like, no, that's not this kind of thing. I'm the judge. I know what's going on. I know what's up. Okay, I read the fucking law. And then I just read it to you and I wrote it to you. And then I had you read it. And it said one or another or another. And then he skips over the or. And he acts like the third option wasn't what he read. And I said, well, you read that wrong. You can't say that to me. Why can't I say that to you? These motherfuckers are fascist, totalitarian, Nazi motherfuckers. The cop kidnapped you, so they think it's their job to fuck you the fuck over. The cop kidnapped you, so I get to play judge and play prosecutor so I can fuck you the fuck over. And so if you think, well, this is America, we're going to get a fair and balanced hearing, and this is the opportunity for me to actually say what happened. Jesus Christ, motherfuckers are, there's drive-by shootings, there's people being fucking driving by and clicking a gun. There's actually felony menacing. There's drive-by shootings, attempted murder. They fucking killed a dog just like they did to John Wick. How many times at the courthouse do you have a bunch of poor people who just say they're guilty and then ask the judge for mercy? So it's like you got the rich and powerful, these plexiglass white-collar mafia. And I say plexiglass intentionally. Because plexiglass you can easily break. It's weaker than fucking real glass. It's not bulletproof glass. It's fucking cheap-ass plastic. So actually, plexiglass doesn't offer you any protection at all. You got the illusion of security. You got the illusion of protection. If you're not establishing justice, they want to say, well, he doesn't have a lawyer, so we're not going to take him serious. But you're throwing all this dumb shit at me with, if I had a lawyer, if he says that's dumb shit, or is he too scared to say it's dumb shit? None of this makes any sense. Or they'll say, oh, pauper, in fucking formalist pauperous. He's a fucking poor person. Nah, he's a poor person. He can't even afford a lawyer who's been approved by the bar. I guess they could fuck over a lawyer who's been approved by the bar so the judge can twist the arm of a lawyer. But they can't twist the arm of a freedom fighter, of an Enkidu, of a wild man created by the gods. I had another one in Pueblo. I sued the city of Pueblo because they had a strong mayor system, but they didn't have a constitutional convention. They broke their own charter. They didn't listen to their own charter. But they said he misspelled a word. This word right here, he misspelled. You don't want to talk about whether or not they actually fucking did the case? If you want to throw some shit out on a technicality, you should be smacked the fuck up. The whole idea of a jury trial is, hey, look at all these crimes that had happened. This is some bullshit. You're trying to fuck over an innocent man. Now that you found out that you're trying to fuck over an innocent man, go after the fucking criminals. Go after the people actually committing fucking real crimes. The ones that didn't read the rules of evidence. The ones that didn't read the rules of evidence or the rules of procedure, the Constitution or the code. They wasted no time paying for their planning and zoning permits. They said, fuck you, government, shove it up your ass. We'll go around and terrorize and commit whatever crimes against anybody we want to. It's like these nerds are pretending to be the cool kids when you know that these nerds aren't going to arrest anybody. I'm going to give this another 2 or 3 minutes. The rich can commit crimes with impunity as long as they can afford the $25,000 retainer. And that's assuming that they'll actually, fight the thing. Alec Baldwin, he shot her. So that means we didn't get a jury trial. The jury didn't look at the evidence. I feel like there's some laws that are crystal clear, cut, and dry. Don't murder. Okay, that's pretty crystal clear and dry. Yeah, sure, there's exceptions, defense, manslaughter, negligence, shit like that. But you can't just go murdering people. That's a rule, right? That comes from Moses. It's been around for 3,500 years. But if you're Alec Baldwin, he afforded a lawyer. The judge believed the bullshit. Well, they didn't have the bullet, Your Honor. Well, they don't have the bullet. Well, get on out of here, Alec Baldwin. So that means if a person kills your loved one and the cop doesn't pick up the bullet or the prosecutor doesn't pick up the bullet and the judge believes the bullshit from the lawyer, he gets to walk scot-free? There's an inherent logic to having the Constitution. Why does it protect our freedoms? We're all going to be a bunch of fucking criminals unless they tell us what our freedoms are. We got a right to petition. We have a right to peacefully assemble. We have a right to bear arms. We have a right to kick out a soldier who wants to quarter in our own home. That's what the Constitution says. A soldier wants to stay in your house, get the hell out of here. What fucking lawyer or court would say that that's wrong? It's clearly the third fucking amendment. There's a reason why we have freedoms. Okay, you can't do arson and you can't do the murder and the rape and the steal and the torture and the assault. What can you do? Well, you could petition and you could speak and you got your religion and you got the press. You can't be excessive, no excessive bail, no excessive torturing. The rules of evidence is so that way we get to the truth, the rules of procedure, so we have an orderly, methodical way to get to the truth. You present your case, you present your case. Okay? Oh, well, I just come up with a rule of evidence. You're not allowed to say your thing because you're a fucking piece of shit? Nah, you can't say your thing. Do you want to know the truth? No, I want to fuck you over. A cop kidnapped you. That cop is my buddy, and I want to fuck you the fuck over because this is a fascist, totalitarian police state. And so ultimately, I guess I have to ask the damn question, what the fuck does the system or the corrupt judges or the rich and the powerful, what do they have to gain by shoving a liar's lie down the people's throats? What do they gain by shoving a liar's lie down the people's throats? They'll fuck over a person who was lied against. The cop arrested you, you're fucked. Right? Was it Alabama? For 10 years, they were planting evidence on black folks. Nope, you have crack cocaine, you're a bad person, now you're a felon, now you can't get jobs, now you can't vote, now you don't have any political power to say so whatsoever. Why would a fascist totalitarian police state put up with some shit like this? Why don't you want to get to the truth? We're trying to establish justice here. You can't establish justice if you're fucking peddling lies. If you don't know the truth, and the truth is objective. JFK's head goes back and to the left. We saw it on videotape. As clear as day. The truth is objective. You got to get to the truth. That's the whole point. Some things are clear, cut, and dry, but the gray areas, I think, what would a jury of my peers think about A, B, and C? If this situation happened to me, A, B, and C, and I did D, E, and F, what would the jury of my peers think about it? And since I'm a citizen and I'm thinking like that, why doesn't the judges and the cops and the rich and the powerful think like that? What would a jury of my peers think about this? That covers the gray area. But if the system doesn't care about juries actually getting to the bottom of things, getting to the truth, they're using rules of procedure and rules of evidence to fuck over the poor and the ignorant and the people that they think are powerless. What good does that do for the system just to fuck over anybody and everybody? Because who gives a shit? Let the cops do whatever. And if they break a couple of eggs, well, you got to make an omelet, right? By breaking some eggs. You're rich and powerful, so you know the system ain't going to fuck you, and you could use the system to fuck that person and that person and that person over. This is a fascist totalitarian police state. And when the police state turn a blind eye, then the crimes keep on happening. When the police state says an innocent person is guilty, then the whole fucking system gets in line and says that person's guilty. But if you're fucking guilty like Donald, you get to walk around free as a bird like Christopher Mondragon. Maybe he'll go to sentencing. Maybe he won't go to sentencing. Who the fuck knows? He's rich and powerful. He was a politician. He was the president. He's got money. He can afford the lawyer. Get on out of here. Eventually, that's what's going to happen is the rich and the powerful, the oligarchs are going to say, let Donald be. Because if you're going to throw Donald in fucking jail, well, shit. Every rich person and powerful person out here, every governor, every millionaire, every billionaire out here might get thrown in jail. Well, we don't want that to happen. So you're going to get the rich and the powerful to tell the judge to drop the shit, to give him a probation, to give him community service. You're not going to see him get any fucking jail time. 34 fucking felonies doesn't equal jail time, not a single day? Give him a single day in jail. I dare you. I fucking dare you. We live in a fascist totalitarian police state. The police are the fourth branch of government. They're supposed to be the executive branch. If you're a smart mayor, if you're a smart judge executive, or if you're a smart governor or president, the cops work for you. They don't work for the judges. The judges judge, but they have no power. They just say this and that and what the fuck ever. And judge not lest ye be judged. So the way the system was written with Hamilton is that they were a weak branch. But they've got everything all turned around and twisted. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens on September 6th. He's going to at least know if he's going to go to jail for 120 years. If he only has to go to jail for 4 years, does he still show up? Does he still run? If you got to go to jail for 4 years and you have 12 days, you're going to give them a 12-day head start for him to get to Venezuela. He's looking at 4 years in jail, but he's got 12 days to fuck around. Now, I understand, like, the whole idea of sentencing is so that you can tie your loose ends up, make sure that, you know, the house is being house-sitted by this and that and what the fuck ever. There's a logic behind a lot of the shit of the law, but the way that it actually works in America, it doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. So if he's looking at 4 years of jail time, does he show up for September 18th? I'm thinking, because of the way that they fucking did it, he's got fucking lawyers. The judge is in a position of power. He might be, you know, looking at some situation down the fucking road. He don't want to get fucked over by Trump's fucking people later on. They're probably trolling him and doxing him and talking shit about him and finding out who he is and what he's about. So if he's looking at a year in jail, does he still show up? He's going to find out he's supposed to get maybe 1 fucking day in jail, but he most likely probation or some community service or a fucking fine. And when he has no jail time, it's just community service or a fucking fine or probation, he'll definitely show up September 18th. So that means if you're rich and powerful, you don't have to go through the same criminal justice system that the rest of us have to go through. And that's fucking bullshit, because the point of America is to establish justice. You're not allowed to murder. You're not allowed to steal. You're not allowed to commit felonies. I don't give a fuck if you are rich and powerful. What the fuck is the point of these damn laws? The rule of law is that nobody can break these laws. But apparently some of us can and the others have